Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. So I would say most photographers run into the same problem. You see, photography is a service-based business, meaning you are trading your skill and your time in exchange for money. Best example of this is wedding photography. Now, most photographers, when they want to make more money, think I need to double down on my services, meaning they have to invest more time into their business to make more money. Maybe they add an extra wedding on the weekend. Maybe they add 2 extra weddings. But at some point, time becomes the biggest problem that photographers have. This constraint on time eventually prevents you from doing other things in your life, things that you want to be doing. If you're a photographer who runs into this problem of not enough time, but you want to make more money, the easiest way to make more money is creating a passive income stream for yourself. And in today's video, I'm going to break down what, in my opinion, is the easiest passive income stream for working photographers who have value to give to others. And this income stream is going to be through an information product or a course. Now, I know what you're thinking. Courses have a terrible reputation on the internet right now, and rightfully so. There's a lot of overpriced courses out there. There's a lot of people scamming others, but if you are a working photographer and you have information that can help other people, you are someone who is qualified to sell a course. You are providing information to others with something that you are actually doing. In my opinion, the only unethical courses out there are the ones being sold by people who aren't actually living what they're teaching about. But you are not that person. So today I'm going to help you create a course and load it to your website so you can begin making money as you promote your business on social media. So let's get into the backstory of how this video came together. Earlier this year, I created a free course on my website, evanranf.com. It's called The Photographer's Starting Point to Instagram Reels. Now, this course is actually a free course because it just felt like too niche of a product to put a price tag on, but the goal of this course was to just help photographers learn the basics of Instagram Reels. And in building this course, I learned all the steps necessary to help photographers like you add a price tag to your information and create a passive income stream for yourself. And on top of that, I have a strategy that I implemented into my social media to help get people to that course who are interested. Right now, we're at close to 1,000 downloads on it, which in my opinion is great for such a niche product. So in today's video, the one thing I can't do for you is help you create your course. I can't tell you what information that others will find valuable. What I can tell you is the easiest place to start is solving problems for others that can help them make more money, or problems that you had in the past that you had to learn the hard way that you can now help others with. That is the key to an information product. Technically, this video is an example of an info product. I took the time to build a course. Now I'm sharing it with you so you don't have all the headaches that I had of building out my free Instagram Reels course. But one important thing to note about courses and information products is the fact that they are not a get-rich-quick scheme. These products take a lot of time to build. That is the biggest misconception around passive income. Once you build the income stream, yes, you can make money while you're sleeping, you can passively promote it with each Instagram post, but until it's actually built, you are technically double dipping on work. You're going to have to work on the business that you're already running and maintaining, and on top of that, create this new income stream. Now, once you've identified information that you think can help other people, what expertise that you have that align with the audience you're building on social media, you are ready to add your course to your website. And that actually brings up one really important note before we get into that. One of the biggest mistakes that creators make online is creating products or courses that do not align with the audience they're building. Meaning, if you are a wedding photographer and you are primarily posting photos to attract wedding clients and other wedding photographers, you most likely want to create an information product sharing your expertise around wedding photography because that is the audience that you're building and your product aligns with that audience. One of the biggest issues that a lot of creators run into is actually sharing their best photography and getting a lot of followers who are interested in the art of photography. But the thing they're trying to sell is actually the service of, say, portraits or even weddings. You see, the problem there is that this audience of photographers doesn't align with the product they're selling, being wedding photography. So you want to make sure that if you have an audience of all photographers, your info product aligns with those people. So maybe you can teach some Photoshop editing techniques. Maybe you can teach how you keep your schedule organized. Maybe you can teach how you acquire clients through Instagram. The options are really endless. It's just a very important node. Now, once you have all this information laid out in front of you, once you've created your course, once you've recorded it, created all the documents, you are ready to add it into your website. Now, the website platform that I use is Squarespace. I've used it for years. Y'all have heard about it on this channel. I actually made a video about 2.5 months ago where I break down how I make money off of Instagram with the product that I sell. In that video, I do a full breakdown of how I built my website, evanranf.com. So you can watch that video, build out your homepage exactly like mine, and then you can add your course in with the information in this video. So if you want to follow this or the previous video that I just mentioned, you can go to squarespace.com/evanranf, start a free trial, build out a trial site, and when you're ready to sign up, you can use code evanranf to save 10% at checkout once you're ready to send your site or course live or whatever product you're creating. But once you have that course laid out, you've taken all the time necessary to build it, you are ready to create this income stream in Squarespace. So let me show you how to add your course to the platform in a beautiful, easy way. So the first thing we got to do is go to our website tab and click on pages. Now, once we click on pages, we are going to scroll down to not linked. We're going to create our course as a not linked page for now. Now, if you're someone who has your Squarespace site already set up, you have your own navigation style with your main navigation pages, feel free to do this up here. I'm just showing you the way that I've done it, and we're going to build a landing page later on. So what we're going to do is click on this plus sign right here, and we are going to go over to courses. This is going to add in a new course page. Now you have two main course layout options to choose from. Personally, I preferred this option number one, so we're going to select that. So next up, what we're going to do is go ahead and click on edit up here, and we're going to scroll down to manage lessons / edit layout. You're going to get to there by hovering over where our course title is, which for this example is demo course YouTube. So what we're going to do is click on edit layout right here, and we're going to jump over to color. And from here, we can select the different color themes that apply to our website. So there's a bunch of different options. Personally, I like the way dark one looks. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. Go ahead and click out. And now I'm going to highlight this section right here, and I'm going to remove it. Now you could click edit section, add a different picture in here if you would like. You can also change the size of this by grabbing this slider and moving this up and down with Squarespace's Fluid Engine tools. But I'm going to go ahead and remove it because personally, this is just the course page. I don't think it has to be too fancy. I think it needs to be simple and easy to read for someone. We'll put more effort into the landing page later on in this video. So what we're going to do now is also go in and remove these sections down here. Now, once again, you could add in different details about the course. Maybe you could add in an upsell with a button to some other program you have. But for now, we're going to go ahead and remove this section altogether by clicking on remove. So once we made sure to have our course page saved, we're going to go over and jump to course content, and we're going to begin to edit all of our lessons. Now, as you can see, when you download the template, there's already going to be these auto-populated chapters as well as lessons. What I personally did was I went in and just deleted these and started my own. So we're going to go ahead and delete each one of these separately. Actually, we'll go to chapters and delete this, and we will delete one more. So from here, you can add in whichever chapters to organize your lessons and whichever lessons you like. So let's go ahead and add 2 chapters in real quick, just so I can show you how this works. We'll call this first chapter Introduction or Intro. So we'll go ahead and save that. And we'll add in another chapter, and we'll go ahead and call this, I don't know, for the sake of example, production. So now once you've established these chapters to help things stay organized, you can add the plus sign that correlates to each chapter to begin adding lessons in. So let's add 1 lesson to each one. Obviously, y'all are going to have more lessons and more chapters. This is just a basic overview. So the first thing we're going to do is click on this plus sign right here. We're going to call this lesson Introduction. Now, if you would like, you can add a quick excerpt from your lesson. Now, you can also add in your own URL slug here. So you're going to have your website name / your course name / introduction, the title of the chapter. And personally, I think that's fine. If you want to change the name to something else, by all means, go for it. Now, next up, you're going to want to add some type of lesson thumbnail in here. So you can click Add Image, and you can select from either your library or upload an image that you created. Now, what you can do to make this easier for you, as you can see, I have a number of different lesson thumbnails already in my library. You can create these in something like Unfold, or you can create them yourself in Photoshop. I recommend Unfold because they have a bunch of really easy to use templates in there, and you can just populate them and get this step done really quickly. So we'll go ahead and click this checkbox right here for lesson 1, and we're going to go ahead and add this to our lesson. Now, the next thing we have to do is add in our video. So we're going to click on this video tab right here, and we're going to go ahead and drop in the video that we created for this lesson. Once again, I'm going to select this from my library, but if you haven't added your lesson video to your library, you can click Upload File, or you can actually grab a link from YouTube or Vimeo if you would like to embed the video. So let's go ahead and select this from our library right here. We're going to scroll down to Intro. We're going to click on this, and we're going to go ahead and add this in right here. And from there, we can keep it as a draft and change it to publish when we're finally done, or you can change it to publish now. I'm going to go ahead and keep it as a draft until we're finished with all these steps. So we'll go ahead and click on Save. And now we're going to repeat this exact same process with our second chapter and our second lesson. So we're going to click this plus sign once again. We're going to do the exact same thing. We can just call this lesson 2 for example's sake. So now, as you can see, both of our lessons have been added into their appropriate chapters. They have the right thumbnails with them, and I went ahead and sent both of these live by changing them from draft to publish. One cool thing you can do with publishing lessons is actually schedule them, so students can get a new lesson every week, or you can add in a bunch of lessons that you want to come out a month from now or 2 months from now to update your students and give them more value. But once you've added in all your lessons, you can click back to your course overview page, and as you can see, now we have both of our lessons inside of our course homepage, which we finished customizing a little while ago. Students can click on Start Course, and they will be taken to the first lesson, and then once they complete that lesson, they can click Continue, and they can move on to their next lesson. So at this point, you might need to spend a little bit more time updating all the content of your course, but that was a brief overview of how to add in all that course material and get your page looking something like this. Told you, pretty easy to add your course into Squarespace. Now, once all of your course material is in there, the next thing you have to do is attach a price to it. Now, it's up to you what monetary value you assign to your information, but Squarespace has a bunch of different options with the plans that you can give your students. You can create more of a subscription-based course where maybe you add new information every single month. Maybe you have a fixed price course, a course that requires 2 or 3 payments, or you can make it completely free. It's really up to you. Let me show you how to do it real quick. So now to add a price to your course, you're going to go up to click on Pricing Plans right here, and you're going to click Create Pricing Plan. Now, as I already mentioned, there's a number of different options for pricing your course. You can do something as simple as a single payment. Let's say you want to charge $19.99 for your course. Now you have the ability to have someone purchase this one time with one payment. Or you could split this into 2 payments, and you could say it is going to be $9.99 for 2 months. Now, as you can see, that change is made inside of our digital product block that will add to our sales page and landing page a little bit later on. Now, with my course, I have mine set to free, and if you want to do that, it's as simple as selecting this box right here. You can also create a subscription, so you can say price this at $9.99 every month and set this to repeat every single month, or weekly or yearly, depending on what you're offering to your customer. And what's cool is inside this block, you can add benefits to explain what it is they're signing up for. We're going to explain this more on our sales and landing page, but it's great to do it here as well. So what we can do is click on Add a Benefit. We can say updates every month, and this will let your customers know that every single month there will be an update with this subscription. You can also change this to be more accurate over 60 minutes. There we go, of video content. You could add another benefit in and say something like 4K quality video. It's really up to you. The options are endless here depending on what you're offering to your potential students. Now, another thing that you can do is if you have multiple digital products, let's say you have 2 separate courses, you can add other digital products here to the purchase. Or if you have a subscription site or anything else you offer, you can add that in here and make it an incentive and part of the product that you're selling. But for now, we're going to go with a basic fixed amount of one payment of $19.99. So let's go ahead and change that. Now, one thing I recommend is updating your description for this sales block that we'll use later on. But for now, to save us time, I'm going to go ahead and click on create right here. And now we've added our pricing plan to our course. So once we have our price set, we're pretty much done with everything around our course. The last thing we have to do is create a landing page for this course. Now, this is something that personally I like to do manually with Squarespace. I like to use that information block that we just created with our pricing plan as a way to drive signups to the course. By doing this, we can create a separate page that has all the information necessary to help our potential students understand what our course is all about. And Squarespace's templates make it so easy to do this. I'm going to show you real quick how to get started on this, and then I'll give you a few other tips at the end of the video on how to really perfect it. And you can use my site as an example, but for now, let's get started. I'm going to show you the basics of building this landing page. So once we got our pricing plan ready to go and our course is complete, we can jump back over to the website and we can create the page that our students can navigate to access our course. Now, on my website, I have this free resource tab, which takes people to the course. So my course page is actually unlinked, but for y'all, you can click on this plus sign right here and add in a page that says my course, and people can navigate to it. Now, for this example, I'm going to go ahead and make it a not linked page because I don't want the page showing up on my live site. So we're going to go ahead and title this page. We'll go ahead and call it Demo Course Landing Page. Actually, we'll call it my course just for the sake of example, so y'all can see what I'm talking about. I am going to add this demo right here just to make sure I delete it when this is done. So now that we have our empty page, the first thing I'm going to do is click on edit right here, and I'm going to go ahead and add in a section by clicking on add section. Now there's a bunch of different intro sections you can pick from. Personally, I like this one up top with the scrolling branding, so we're going to select that one, and once this is added into our site, we're going to go ahead and customize it. Now first thing we're going to do is delete this image by selecting it and clicking on this trash can. We're going to do the same thing with this text box right here, select it and delete it. Now we're going to select our text box real quick by clicking it and getting these draggable dots right here, and we're going to make this as small as possible so we can use the Fluid Engine tools of Squarespace and slide this all the way up. So now we just have a section for our brand name. Now your brand name in this case is most likely going to be the title of your course. So what we're going to do is click on the section, make sure it's selected, and click this pencil tool right here. And we're going to go to content and we're going to select your brand and change it to the title of your course. So for this one, we're just going to call it Course Demo. So now we have that added, and as you can see, it's scrolling across the screen. If we select back, we can go into our design tab and we can customize this, maybe add a little wave to our letters. We can also change the size of it to medium if we like. I'm going to stick with large. We can change the speed, and there's a bunch of different options you can check out for yourself. But now that is done, we can go ahead and click on add section, and we can add in a blank section. Now this is where we're going to add our course block that we created earlier that has all the details and the price of our course. We're also going to add something like an overview or description, but the first thing we have to do is actually click on edit section once that blank course is added, and we're going to change the color and the theme of this section to lightest one. This is going to create some separation from this text that we added to our header. So from here, what we can do now is add separate blocks into this section. So the first block we're going to add is going to be a product block. So we're going to scroll down here and we're going to click on digital product, and from here we can select what that product is. Now this is the wrong product, so we can click on edit and we can choose our pricing plan, which is demo course YouTube. So now, as you can see, our demo course pricing plan has been added here. Then once that's in there, we can grab it and we can just move it around the page however we see fit. I think that looks fine. So we can click back out to our section once again and we can add another block. For this, I'm going to add a video block. I recommend making some type of overview video for your product. It's just so much easier to explain what it is you're selling and what value you're giving through a video. So by clicking on video right here, we can now grab this and slide it to where we think it looks good. We can also adjust the size if we need. That looks pretty good. You can also go ahead and click up here, click right here and add in a text block if you want to say something like watch the overview video. Once you type that in, you can drag it to where it needs to go. I think it would look fine right there. We can also change the orientation of it to be centered. You can also change the style of the text to one of the heading styles that comes with the particular theme you're using. For me, I think number 4 looks fine, and you can do some cool stuff like maybe click on this button and add some type of underlining or some type of circle. There's a bunch of different options. Now from there, we can once again move this around to where we see fit, and we also have to make sure that our video actually shows up inside of this box. So we're going to click on our video section and we're going to click on this pencil tool and we're going to go ahead and add in our video, which I've already added to my library, which is just a simple overview video of the course. That overview video is right here. So we're going to go ahead and add this in. Now, one more thing that I do recommend is adding some type of featured image to this by clicking on custom featured image. This allows you to use something once again like Unfold to create a nice overlay for the video for someone clicking. It gives the video a little more context. You could do something like this that says course overview. You add this, and now when someone clicks on the video, they know they're clicking the course overview, and this is unnecessary. So you could delete that if you wanted, but now this quick little intro section is done. We could go in and highlight the section itself and click on edit section, and we could change the format of it to try to align it a little bit better with the top section by clicking this align tool right here. This is going to bring our block a little bit closer to our header and remove that gap that is centering the block. It's pushing the margin a little closer, and I do think that looks good personally. So I'm going to go ahead and click save on this because that section of the sales page looks done. So with that information, you can get started on your landing page. Now, one important note about your landing page is remember in this demonstration, we have our page in our not linked section. If you want your potential students to be able to click on a direct link to this page, you want to make sure you move it to your linked pages. That will add it to your main navigation so people can find your course and your information product when they go to your site. Now, the last thing that I recommend on this landing page is adding in more sections as well as more blocks to give your potential students as much information as possible about the course. An overview video is great, but adding some details about what inspired the course, what they're going to be learning goes a long way to give people confidence in the information that you're presenting. If you want examples of this, I'll do 2 direct links in the description to my coaching page as well as the landing page for my Instagram Reel course, so you can check it out and copy it using these section and block tools in Squarespace. And remember, throughout this video, if you want to follow along, you can go to squarespace.com/EvanRamp, start a free trial, and when you're ready to sign up, you can use code EvanRamp to save 10% at checkout. Now, one important asterisk on creating a course in Squarespace is understanding that if your course is over 30 minutes long, you will have to upgrade it to more video storage. With personal plans on Squarespace, you can add up to 30 minutes of video in your course, but longer courses will require an upgrade. Technically, my free course is over 30 minutes long, so I'm paying every single month to host it and losing money on it, but it's okay. I don't mind helping y'all out. One other thing that we got to talk about real quick is how you are going to promote this information product. Now, I already kind of went into the strategy that you can use of sharing your media that aligns with the customer for this course, but an example of that would be this. Let's say that you create street photography and people ask you, hey, how do you make these? How do you edit these in Photoshop? What are you doing? If you create a course around how you're editing in Photoshop, when you post something on Instagram, you could simply add a note saying, hey, if you want more information on how I edit my photos, check out the link in my description. It goes to my course. That is a simple method of passively promoting this. And then you can actively promote it occasionally in your story. Maybe you post an absolute banger photo. You can repost that in your story with a link directly to the course, telling people, hey, this is how I edit my photos. Check it out on my website. That is the simple strategy to open up a passive income stream for yourself as a photographer, and most importantly, as someone who's already working, doing the thing that you're teaching others how to do. Now, if you enjoyed this video, do me a solid, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you are not yet, and make sure you check out the previous videos breaking down more strategies on how you can build out your website as well as your business. Most importantly, that one about my Instagram strategy from about 2.5 months ago, that video will help you all out a lot and work really well with the information in this video. Big shout out to Squarespace for sponsoring us today and hooking y'all up. Remember, squarespace.com/EvanRant, start a free trial and use code EvanRant to save 10% at checkout. Y'all the truth. I'll see y'all in the next video.